Hey guys, here is part 2 of lesson 4.10. I am going to be working through this one proof with you, and then you're going to do the try it out on your own. Please make sure you have the try it out done tomorrow. I will not be granting anything over a 70 if the try it out is not completed, okay? So assume that if you come in with the try it out empty, you cannot get over a 70, right? If you have this done, great. And you have this done, excellent, and this. But if you have not tried out the assignment yourself, I'm not giving you higher than a 70. No, that sounds a little unfair, but I really want you to push yourself to not say, oh my God, I just don't understand, so I'm not going to do it. I want you to push yourself to try it no matter what. All right, so let's look at this 2-column proof. And with me, I have this handout that I gave you guys today. This helps to just kind of recall some of the reasons that you can use, okay? This is your potential reasons bank. We know we're going to be using one of these to close out our statement, right? To close out our proof. Either the side, 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 angle, 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 side, or hypotenuse, leg, postulate is going to be the closing of our proof, all right? But the rest of these are just reasons that will support any of the statements we make. Let's go to the proof. As I told you today, it's really important for you to mark up your diagram, okay, with given information, okay? So, how to write a triangle congruence proof? Always, always, always label or mark up the figure. So, the first thing I'm seeing here is that side AE is parallel to side CD. So, that tells me I have a pair of parallel sides. So, I got a pair of parallel sides here, okay? And then B is the midpoint of segment AD. So if this is the midpoint, that means that this side or this segment was bisected, which means that these two sides are congruent. Because if that's the midpoint, that means that it's halfway, right? It's halfway between the segment. So if it's split it in half, this half, that half makes up the whole. Okay? What I also notice is that we have pair of vertical angles. Like I said today with that advice I gave you when writing proofs is to be on the lookout for vertical angles, and we were on the lookout and we spotted them. Be on the lookout for parallel lines. Okay, so going back to that, knowing that these lines are parallel will tell us that we're going to have some alternate interior angles, or we may have corresponding angles. But let's take a look. So we have these parallel lines. This is our transversal, okay? So think about it as you have these two parallel lines, and I like to extend the parallel lines just to illustrate, right? And then that's your transversal. So the interior of this, right, would be here. So if that's the case, we have a pair of alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles because this is our transversal, this is the interior of our parallel lines, the inside of the two parallel lines, and we have one angle to the left, or rather to the right of the transversal, the other to the left. One on top of the transversal, you can look at it as and one on the bottom, okay? And therefore, we have angle, angle, side, right? We have an angle, same thing here. An angle, and a side. Angle, angle, side. Okay, or side, angle, angle. Either way is fine, okay? But we call it angle, angle, side. All right, so like I always say to you, or I tried to really reiterate to you, once you mark up the figure, you will already have an idea of which of these you're going to be using to close your proof with. And in this case, it's going to be that. So all you have to do is write all the stuff in between. Okay? So let's start with the first statement, which is always the given. And we're just going to write that information . Okay, and the reason for that is given. All right, our second statement is going to flow from the given. All right, so if AE, let's start with this first statement. If AE is parallel to CD, then it stands to reason that angle AEB, which is this one right here, and is congruent to angle BCD or DCB because of alternate interior angle theorem. And I got that from here. So I'm literally using this bank, and the reason for them being congruent is alternate interior angle theorem. Alternate interior angles are congruent if and only if the transversal that passes through two lines that are parallel. Okay? So alternate interior angle theorem. All right, the third statement is, or the third statement I'm going to make also refers to the given, right? So B is the midpoint of AD, so that means that segment AB is congruent to segment BD. What's the reason for that? So I'm going to actually check here and try to figure out which one of these apply. Oh, look, definition of midpoint. The point that divides a segment into two congruent segments. Okay, so the definition of midpoint is the reason why. Don't put definition of bisect. Use the language that they give you in the given. So it's definition of midpoint. Okay, I'm almost finished writing my proof. The last thing is, right, so I've explained why one angle set is congruent. I've explained why a set of sides is congruent. All I have to do now is explain why the other angle set is congruent, and it's because they're vertical angles. So A, B, E is congruent to C, B, D, and that is because of the vertical angles theorem. Vertical angle theorem, or VAT, I guess you can write it as. Vertical angle theorem. Try to use the language or the resources on this sheet. They're very, very helpful. And they give it to you in the language that is going to be expected when you take the Regents, okay? And then finally, so I've proven everything I need to prove. The last thing, and the way I close my proof, is with the thing that I'm proving. ABE is congruent to DBC. Why? Well, my closing statement has to be one of these, okay? Now, that's if we're proving two triangles are congruent, then it has to be one of these, and like we said, it's going to be the angle side postulate. And I'm done. All right, I'm finished writing this proof. It's a full, thorough, and complete proof. Go ahead, try the next one yourself. I'll check on it tomorrow. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.